All right, so I've come up into some BLM land, and I haven't been up here in a little bit, and it's definitely feeling the effects of all the snow that we had here in Central Oregon here recently. And everything's kind of melted now, but like it's left a lot of mud in its place, and we got some standing water. And I found myself in a spot where I was trying to get turned around, and I ended up in some soupy mud, and the truck is fairly well buried in the mud and not moving forward or backward. Now this would be that 1% of the time that I'm out, that some mud tires would definitely be of some value. But for the most part, mud tires, I don't spend a lot of time in muddy situations, being Central Oregon. Typically, other than springtime like this, we're fairly dry. So mud tires, just in my opinion, are an expensive waste of time for most of the outdoor driving that I do. But they definitely would be valuable to me right now. But what we're going to do instead is pull out my recovery boards and see if we can recover the truck and the trailer all at once. But if I can't recover the truck and trailer at once, we're going to disconnect the trailer and see if we can recover the truck. And if we can recover the truck, and then we will go about trying to figure out how to recover the trailer by itself. All right, so I've got you guys tucked out away from the wind here a little bit, trying to make sure we're not getting too much wind noise in the camera. But I've been digging out around the tires. I'm gonna try to see how far I can get without putting the recovery boards down, because I was able to get the truck to rock back and forth about 6-8 inches. So I think now that I've dug out a little bit of area, I can get a little bit further. I really wanna make it my last ditch effort to put the recovery boards down, because you can see how soupy this mud is. Once I go past the recovery boards once, they're gonna get fairly buried in the mud, and I'm absolutely sure that I'm gonna get stuck a little further on. So I want to try to get as far as I can without them, and like I said, just kind of wait and use them as last ditch recovery. Now, one of the other issues I'm running into, as you can see, there's rocks, big boulders everywhere in here, and I've moved a lot of them from the front of the truck, but there's one big one right in front of the truck that's gonna make me have to turn as I go forward. I won't be able to just go straight. So that's gonna add extra level of challenge to this recovery. Now, looking at the situation a little bit more carefully, I am gonna go ahead and pull the trailer off. The trailer's just barely into the muddy section of this trail, and so I think it's gonna be to my advantage to go ahead and just disconnect the trailer now and then try to recover the trailer once I can get the truck out. So we're gonna go ahead and disconnect the trailer, and then we're gonna see what we can do with moving this truck without the trailer on it. All right, so it became pretty clear to me that going forward was not going to be an option. There was just way too many rocks, and it was too soupy, and I was just getting the trucks more and more stuck. So I started working to get the trailer out of the way, and as you can see here, I've got my come along out and a recovery strap, and I tied it to a nearby tree and started winching the trailer out of the way. It would have been a lot more advantageous for me if I would have hooked this strap high on the tree. As you can see here, it's kind of working against me by pulling down on the front of the trailer, instead of if I would have had it tied high on the tree, it would have been kind of pulling up on the front of the trailer, which would have made things a lot easier. I eventually figured that out later when I had to move the trailer again. Now I went ahead and put my recovery boards down and started to back up. This is where I made the mistake. I should have gotten the trailer a lot further out of my way, because as I start to back up here, you can see I bump into the trailer and then have to move forward. There was no damage to the truck or the trailer. I just barely bumped it, but in the end, it stopped me from being able to use that momentum and get all the way out. And then I had to go forward again, and it just got me more bogged. Here you can see I tied the trailer to another tree and started working the trailer out of the way. And like I said, I tied it high to the tree, which made things a whole lot easier. Once I got the trailer completely out of the way, I was able to get dug around the wheels of the truck well enough and be able to back all the way up. I had to trim a few branches from the tree that was right behind me, but I was able to get completely around it. I tried to back up to the trailer from where I got out, but I immediately started getting bogged again, so I decided to get out of that position, and I was able to flip the trailer around and back up to it from another direction and eventually get completely out. Alright guys, good morning. So we are just trying to get some coffee going this morning. Pretty rough evening last night, trying to get the truck completely unstuck and out of that bog. By the time I actually got the truck completely out, it was fully dark. I'm sure you can tell from the probably less than stellar footage that I got trying to get the truck out. But yeah, this I have to say this trip just did not, hold on a sec here, okay. Yeah, I have to say this trip just did not go as I intentionally planned. It was not my intention to even create a video last night. I was just trying to get up in this area. I wanted to be out in this area, but I was trying to get into this spot in particular because I'd camped here before and I knew I had good 4G service. And I had some work I wanted to get done last night, and I was going to be able to get on the internet and work with my laptop, get some editing done, get some work done. And then today I was going to explore this area and shoot a video for you guys, camping and doing some photography. But yeah, you know, I came up here, I could tell it was pretty soft trying to get up into the spot. And then when I just tried to get to a spot where I could turn around, I ended up sunk in that bog. And it took pretty much all evening to get it out. You know, if I had in hindsight to, you know, if I was in that situation and in hindsight to do it all over again, you know, as you guys probably saw, I realized that I was not going to be able to go forward, that it was just too rocky up front, in front, too boggy, and that going forward was not going to be an option. So I knew my only way out was to go backwards. But the trailer was obvious in the way. So you saw how, you know, through, I hope, some of the time lapses and video that I was managed to capture while I was doing it, that I managed to get the trailer, you know, kind of recover the trailer out of there and get it out of the way. But that's where I made my biggest mistake, is I got it just enough out of the way. I should have really focused on getting it way out of the way, and I think I could have got out of that bog a lot faster, because once I got the trailer out of the way and I put the recovery boards down, the truck started to come right out, but I ended up bumping into the trailer. Not too hard, didn't do any damage to the trailer, didn't do any damage to the truck, but the trailer was in the way. If I would have got that trailer completely out of my way, I think on that one run, if I could have maintained my momentum, I would have been out right then, but I had to end up going forward again, and then I tried to go back and get around the trailer, and it was just not going to happen. I ended up just getting myself, continuing to get myself more bogged. But once I finally did get the trailer all out of the way and a bunch of digging and you know, work, I was able to get out. But unfortunately, like I said, once I used those recovery boards the one time, they were bogged in the mud, and in fact, I still need to go get them. They're completely buried in the mud, so I still have to go out there and try to recover them. So, but anyhow, yeah, things just didn't things didn't work out the way I wanted. I didn't get any work done last night. Didn't get to do anything. And I've decided that because it's just so muddy out here and so wet, that I'm just gonna pack up the tent and get out of this area. I don't like the fact that I tore up the ground so bad just trying to get the truck back onto this road, and I don't want to get into a situation like that again today, trying to continue to explore this area. So we're just gonna call it while we can and get out of here. So, but yeah, just, you know, I really intended to get you guys out and try to do just a typical photography camping video with campfires and fun stuff, but yeah, just didn't work out. And you know, and it's pretty typical like that out here on the BLM during the springtime, because everything's thawing out, the ground's thawing out, and you know, this year's been exceptionally bad because we had such a late snowstorm that everything's just a big bog. So anyhow, so yeah, I'm gonna go have some coffee. I'm gonna go dig around in the mud for the recovery boards and get all my stuff packed up and get out of here. I hope you guys, you know, enjoyed this video. I mean, I don't know what there was really to enjoy other than the fact you sit and watch a guy dig himself out of the mud. But, you know, that's just the reality sometimes when you're out here and you're doing stuff and you're by yourself. I mean, I was just glad, you know, there's definitely some more things like winches and different things that I could have that could have been of value to me last night, especially once I got the truck kind of turned around. But I was glad to have the recovery gear that I had. The shovel, the snatch strap, the come along, all of those things came in quite handy. But yeah, anyhow, thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed and you enjoyed these types of videos, hopefully not this type of video, but maybe just look at some of my other videos and enjoy those types of videos, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys again outside.